what about the visibility of the reserve for as well as tokens in circulation?
Yeah, Ledger itself will release it once they are connected with us. All the assets, for example, BTC, ETH, or whatever, they will snapshot, but they are as worried as us for the security of it. So basically, they will mask off the middle part of the addresses, but it's a total snapshot from the actual explorers. Yeah, so they will do that process, not us.
And that's Ledger, like the manufacturer of Ledger Blue and Ledger Nano X?
Yeah, the escrow service that they provide. Yeah. It's a third party. It cannot be us.
Yes.
Yeah, so for part of the FSL compliancy, we need to have these guys.
So the liquidity that you will need for the travel, you said that will be created from companies like BitSnap and Cross that you're negotiating with. So how is that relationship now, that partnership going?
Okay, so because for us, we want to make sure that in any cases that Jarvis is unable to do a profitable trade, there are other backups. So Big Cross, Snap, QCP, all these are our outsourced market makers to actually help us to get a yield. Of course, when you know that if you let someone else do the trading for you, the yield, the comeback itself is not that great, right? But from all of them add together and plus us itself, we are making a very good yield. Yeah. It's only for a backup process.
So
it's diversified now.
So you do mainly all the trading is done with yourself?
Yeah.
Would you say 90%, 95%?
No, now it's about 70.
Yeah. And could we go a little bit into your history just to kind of so that we have a better understanding? Because there's lots of various information. So you're listed as Chief Technology Officer of several companies.
Yeah.
But are you a co-founder or co-owner of some of them, like Ori Technology and the YFC Technologies and SQ2 FinTech?
Yeah. So if you were to, YFC is a Singapore-based company, which is also a China-based company. SQ2, all of this is a Singapore company. You can find my name in the Accra. So I'm a director and I'm a CTO in all of these companies. So long history said shortly. I was in Malaysia. I left in 2003, went to Hong Kong to make phones. And I was sent around Korea, Denmark, and China. So in Korea, I was doing phones for Samsung and Sewon. Then I came back to Hong Kong and then went to Denmark to learn the chipsets. So I was doing the Skyworks and the rest that Sony uses at the time. Sony and Ericsson they're using. Then I went out to China. I started a factory with a few partners. We had about 14 lines of assembly lines. We were making about 1 million phones a month to sell throughout the world. So my partners then were from ZTE, Huawei, and all these other funny brands that you can find in those Chinese phones, right? So I was doing a lot of those. And after I left the manufacturing business, I started a mobile software company to develop a game engine. So my game engine is in almost 80% of the phones that is going around the world, which I still have patent for. And it enables all these feature phones to run games without Java. It's total cool stuff. People still like it. Because Java, you have to pay a certain license for it. So ours is way, way cheaper. And after I started this company itself, it's called MaxiTech. a public listed company in Singapore called Chorus 360. The listed company is called The Cloud, bought over my company, and then actually moved to Singapore. And after my contract with them for 2 years is up, I bought my whole team at the time out to start YFC in Singapore. That's why you see YFC. And before we are on the App Store, Apple App Store, which we were up yesterday, day before, it was always YFC certificate, right? So that's my company, which I started with a few of my new partners that I met in the Chorus 360. And at the time itself, I had a mentor and an angel investor. He told me that he wanted to go into fintech, and we joined invested into SQ2, so which you will see my name in the Accra as well, Singapore Accra. So we mainly just focus on doing financial technology, wallets and things like that. That's when we actually started moving into prepaid card systems and things like that. One of the exciting things is we worked with Amex to come up with a system whereby the card itself has a dynamic CVV number. So
You've got it on Switch.
yeah, we have our own switch. So yeah, now based on that, we are only one of those that switches around to do processing. So now we are tier 3 and tier 1. Tier 3 for MasterCard, tier 1 for UnionPay, UPI to be exact, UnionPay International, not the UnionPay, but this is the international side of UnionPay. We are able to brand cards for both of these providers. And yeah, so basically close to 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I went to the blockchain mode and we started. Actually, Electronium came to us to say that, hey, can you help us solve a problem? We cannot get Kryptonite to work on the phone. So Kryptonite works on Monero. Electronium runs on Monero. So the problem with that is we tried to help them port Kryptonite onto the mobile. It did not really work. The phone can just run like for close to half an hour before it dies. And we told them that the only solution is to change everything, to move away from Monero. They did not like that, so we did not follow on with the project. But we did spend a lot of time to understand how to actually build a new blockchain platform that can really run on phones. I remember my first demo for the 4.0 Aura was with a $8 SoC device. It was internet connected to other devices. We had 200 then, and it was just syncing. And I showed my partner then, and he said that, hey, maybe we can sell this. So for the better half of the year, we're developing this, and you can see it on YouTube how the wallet actually synchronized with each other and things like that.
That's with the video of Anthony Lau with the Aura technology.
Yes. But like all projects that we're not really looking for a investor or ICO. I wanted to give it for free. So, but in order to do that, we need to really have a lot of projects that's on it that can really show off the power of the platform. So we know that we don't have a lot of time because we are racing against EOS, Cardano, and the rest of the other projects that's outside there. That is also really, really cool. All right. What happened then was at that time, WPF came to us to say that, hey, you have a cool tech. Why don't I help you raise funds for it? If you want to borrow it to do another fork to come up call me, yes. Oh yes, okay, as well. Let's go. Okay. And we went to a lot of conferences. We talked a lot about that, and from that itself, we actually built a CT on top of the platform. So until now, that's where we are.
Because the reason why I asked specifically is that, again, there's a lot of misinformation on the market, and we want to be sure that when we are talking and explaining your role, because this started with the whole big data and the partnership between you or Cloud Token and WBA kind of dissolving, or you guys going separate ways.
Yeah, going separate ways is because we had a different opinion of how the project should run by itself. So there are a lot of details which I am not able to share for the sake of to protect a lot of identities because they are Chinese. All I can say is we want to make it real. We want to make it to be able to use for everyone, as transparent as possible. And it is a long-term project as a goal, not as a MG, but as a wallet system.
Okay. So you were a contractor of World Blockchain Forum, and on the kind of agreement you've developed with Beta for them, but then you don't have anything to do with the project anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think probably they shut down the site as well, so I'm not sure.
And Aura, do you have any plans to have customers that will be using this kind of network?
Yeah, first customer is CT, and after CT itself, I will open source it. There's no gas fee, nothing at all. Anyone just plug on it. But the underlying idea behind the Aura platform is, unlike Ethereum or EOS, you need to stake assets to back it up, to back the price of your tokens. So there's no more air coins. So one of the ideas is to build this. There's no gas fee. The fee itself is just between the members itself. You have to you have to help the network do two things in order for you to do one transaction. So it escalates from that.
Okay, so that answers my next, because I was going to ask about the code. What is the code right now, and whether it will be provided for use repository or anything?
Once we are ready, now it's not really ready yet.
What about there's going to be 1 billion cloud tokens at the rate the network is going, like when do you see being reached as in 1 billion go out in this operation?
Because it's a utility token, it circles back in, right? Yeah, so the probability for it to be out of stock, it's kind of slim. For a very simple reason. If a lot of people hodl, the price will never go up. It's because the bot itself the Jarvis itself is not able to give so much of yield like out, right? So you only see the price slide further and further and further down. When price goes down, I think everybody will start to sell. When they start to sell and there's less CTOs in the market, so the yield from Jarvis is able to actually push the price up. Then it will stabilize, it goes up again. So it's a very fair thing. That's how, and it's why we designed Aura to be from day one. If you can check the white paper for Aura, it's done like, a long time ago. It's not like something you just cook it up.
Ronald, we understand the reserve fund and the Jarvis pool. The company are making money. One of the questions that we get asked is, how is the company making money for itself in order to fund all these projects?
So, very simple to answer that. There's no company per se, because all are funded by leaders itself. It's like me. I funded this office over here by myself. I am part of a tree. I'm a C2. Like, I think some of you guys are higher than me. Okay. So yeah, we're making money off the system as well by investing, and also by our own other means. We work with other leaders to actually help us for other partnerships, okay, that we are engaging on. For example, KL Experience Center is going to be the first try that I tried to create an SOP for. And later on, when we move on to either Thailand or Vietnam, to start up an experience center, we'll work with the local leaders who are the biggest over there, maybe Kancha or maybe Simon or whoever, right? We say that, okay, let's figure out a way, three of us, let's start an experience center. Okay, how's it going to be? Same thing, if in Thailand or somewhere else in Hong Kong or anywhere else. Yeah.
So ultimately, it's self-funding itself then. It's,
Yes.
The company's self-funding as it develops and grows.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not like any other projects, which is ICO based. I take all your money and then let's say I collected $100 million. I give you a lot of tokens. I go to Binance. I give Binance 20 million. I list it out there. Then bye bye. Okay, it's all to you. Go fight for yourselves. Fair enough. For the eagles and things like that. It's not going to be that. That's why we're never going to be in exchanges.
And just on the vocabulary, because when we talked on the messenger, you corrected me when I said that you're exchanging, you said you're converting your tokens into Ethereum.
Yeah.
So the word investment, should we be using it at all, or this isn't? How is it classified by the lawyers?
We're still waiting for the word for them to let us say. But they say either you switch or convert is okay.
Okay, but now when it comes to the whole project, people moving their crypto assets.
Participate is okay, not invest.
Okay, so we shouldn't at all be using the word.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side.
Deposit, I think it's okay. I'm talking about deposit.
Deposit, withdraw, all cannot use, it must be sent and received.
Over.
Okay. So it's terminology in question.
I mean, those are in the app itself. So
Yes.
we are trying to conform to this list, which we got yesterday night, which is like 16 pages long, over 10,000 things.
Exciting.
Words to change, the media. The lawyers really did a lot of work, right? They went through all the Facebook, all the YouTube contents, which video needs to take down, what needs to change to what, and what is there's a lot. So in the next coming weeks, months, Matthew's team will have a lot
Very
to
good.
do.
Very good.
You've talked about private keys and obviously getting to that deadline point of the 3rd of June. Can you give us any more information on when that's likely to happen?
Okay, it's 15 July actually. The private keys are already ready since
Yeah.
the
I know you wanted to get past that security bit, didn't you?
Yeah, which we have already passed
Yeah.
actually. The only thing is there are still a lot of problems on our site whereby when you create your account, sometimes it creates a lot more other things, and some really weird issues happen whereby you have too many 2FAs created, you kind of lost track of what is what. So we're thinking of a better way to let you, or maybe better education on the user's part, how to classify this. Most of them, when you, let's say you have 16 accounts, right? In your Google 2FA, you must have a way to identify which is which. What we tell them to do is just to use the label of the last 4 digits. But in Google 2FA itself, it's not called a label, it's called email. So everybody starts to put the same email, right? And you see the same thing happen, but all different numbers. So which account is which? So these are the things that, a lot of things, it's not really wrong on our part, but it's wrong on our part that we did not tell the user, hey, this is going to happen. Let's try to use this method. Okay. So we are trying to also rectify and to put all this information ready.
So we think by the middle of next month.
Yeah.
So we think by the middle of next month. Middle of this month, sorry.
Oh yeah, actually, if you're lucky on some servers, you can see that already.
It was interesting. I clicked on something about a week ago and it came up privately.
Yeah.
Whoa! And I tried to get back to it. I couldn't find it again.
Yeah, it was on, because we are on 180 plus servers now, split between Amazon and Azure. Some of these are not synced properly, right? So you might be one of those that has that.
Now, in the white paper, let's just kind of move on into the nice side. You said that your plan is for the app to eventually look like typical mainstream, like Exodus wallets or Atomic or Mycelium. How quickly will that progress?
Yeah, actually it's progressing very well. Hopefully by, I say, end of August, when we had the 1,000 people event, it's a celebration that we have really reached that goal.
So you will actually have a proper interface visual update of the wallet as well?
Oh yes, I think those that has been in the event yesterday saw our new UI.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Good stuff.
it looks cool.
Happy
What
days.
is your expectation about the opening the experience center in Kuala Lumpur?
Come again?
What was your expectation about the time to open for the visitors? Experience center?
We brought a couple of C3s over this morning. They look at me and said, "Are you sure you can get it ready by mid of August?" I think probably not. Probably end of August.
Okay.
They're still okay. It's a huge place, right? And we need to. We know that we cannot do up the whole place at once and get it completed before the event. So we are cordoning off certain sections and building that section first, all right? So that on the day itself, we can invite the hopefully C4s and C5s, okay, which there are many around coming, okay, to be there to actually see the experience part of the center. At least the trading floor is up with the video wall. You can see all the 30 exchanges there running, with the 200 bots running, with a real nice figure saying that how much we have earned today.